Let's talk about the promo in professional wrestling. The promo is that moment when a guy in spandex grabs a microphone, insults the local sports team, and convinces you that he's going to murder his opponent on Sunday night at WrestleMania, brother. It's an art form. It's an art form that pays the bills and it extends careers. And with the promo, the wrestler doesn't necessarily have to be good in the ring. And I've seen wrestlers who've had very successful wrestling careers. They were not very good performers in the ring, but they were really good at cutting promos. And nobody, I mean nobody, milked the art of the yap quite like the American gangster Chael Sonnen. In the UFC, usually you have to punch people really well to get a title shot. And Chael Sonnen realized there was a loophole. If you just talk like you can punch people really well, they'll give you the title shot anyway. He wasn't getting those main events because he was the pound for pound king. He got them because he was the pound for pound Shakespeare of trash talk. Now, to explain Chael Sonnen, to explain Chael, I have to take you back 30 years to my college days. Now, picture this. I'm a popular guy, I'm a popular athlete, I'm cool with everyone, but my video game skills at the time, strictly Madden 91, 92, 93, 94 on Sega Genesis. I could run a play, but if you put me on Street Fighter or Mortal Kombat, or there was another one, it was called Eternal Champions. I was but I was button mashing on easy mode. Meanwhile, and don't laugh at me, okay? Because I've beaten, and let me brag about this to you guys. I've beaten Mortal Kombat before on easy mode. Okay, I've beaten Mortal Kombat on easy mode and on very easy mode. So don't underestimate the skills. Okay, I can beat easy mode. Now the arcade mode and a very hard mode. That's another question. So stop laughing. Okay, it's not funny. This is a serious matter here. Jeez. So meanwhile, let me get back to my story. There were these two guys on campus who were absolute wizards at Mortal Kombat and Mortal Kombat 2, particularly the arcade version. These guys were actually going to tournaments and they were winning these tournaments. These guys were virtually untouchable on Mortal Kombat. Now, did that stop me from chirping? Absolutely not. See, I was the type of person, I was an athlete. I was also known for my trash talk. I played on the basketball team. Believe it or not, 5'9", 5'8" me. I played on the basketball team. I was mainly track and field. I was mainly track and field, but people also knew that, at this time too, I was a very, very, very good amateur boxer. But I was there at that school for track and field. But I was also a very, very good amateur boxer. I was also in Taekwondo tournaments. But let me continue. I talk trash. I talk trash to everybody. My sparring partners, I used to talk trash while sparring them. And I had friends when they were playing spades, and even if I wasn't playing, especially if I wasn't playing, I would talk trash to them. I would talk trash about how they were playing spades. If people were playing poker, I would talk trash to people playing poker. I would talk trash to people playing dominoes. I especially talk trash to people in games that I wasn't involved in. I would talk trash to them. And so I talk trash to these dudes. So for 2.5 months, as a matter of fact, I harassed these guys. What I would do, I would stand over their shoulders at the arcade like a backseat ninja, saying stuff like, "Man, pathetic." I would have used a leg sweep there. You know, I'll make you my B in this game. I'll make you my girlfriend in this game. Why is it taking you so long to beat Shokan? Now, eventually, I wrote checks my thumbs couldn't cash. Okay, I was playing casually with the girl I was dating at the time, and a crowd formed. Okay, and those two sharks slapped their quarters on the machine. Now, remember when you played Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter, if you wanted next, you would put your quarters on the control board. And so they slapped their quarters on the machine and they wouldn't let me leave. Now, the first guy, I beat him in one round just because I confused him with my confidence. So, in Mortal Kombat, you typically get 2 rounds, but if you win a round, then it goes to 3. So I beat him the first round, but it was my confidence that confused him. But then he woke up and destroyed me. And then the second guy, he beat me so fast, I think the game was still loading. They realized, oh, this guy isn't good. He's just annoying. This is the Chael Sonnen experience in a nutshell. He was the guy in the arcade claiming that he could beat the high score. The UFC, Dana White, and the fans ate it up. And they shoved the microphone in his face. He'd recite a poem about how tough he was, and we all bought the pay-per-view. Then came the Anderson Silva fight. Chael Sonnen talked a masterclass, and for about 4.5 rounds, he actually looked like he belonged. He was winning. And then, with 30 seconds left, Anderson Silva slapped on a triangle choke, and Chael tapped out. It was almost like Anderson Silva let him have his fun before reminding him who the landlord was. But did Chael stop talking? Nope. He talked his way into a rematch where he got crushed in less than 2 rounds. Then he pulled the ultimate con, coming off of a loss, actually coming off of a couple of losses against Anderson Silva. He talks his way into a title fight with John Jones in a weight class he didn't even belong in. Long story short, John Jones folded him like laundry in less than a minute. And at that point, the jig was up. The fans realized, wait a minute, this is just kayfabe. This is a work. We're watching a wrestler in 4-ounce gloves. We all realize that if you aren't delivering the goods, eventually the bad guy, as Chael Sonnen likes to call himself, this bad guy persona just looks like a sad guy. Now, you'd think after retiring, Chael would relax. Maybe take up knitting. But nah, not with Chael. The mouth is still running, only now he's doing it from a podcast chair instead of a cage. And he is fixated his laser guided yapping on one specific target: Floyd Money Mayweather. Chael Sonnen has decided, against all available math and logic, that Floyd Mayweather is broke. Yeah. Chael is trying to convince the world that a man whose nickname is literally money, a man who Forbes says has earned over $1 billion, a man who prints cash like the Federal Reserve, is actually penniless. I had to pause there. So that y'all can hear this out. Chael is out here claiming Floyd's earnings are one of the great lies of sport. He says basically, Chael Sonnen is yelling at the clouds, saying that the McGregor payouts were fake, the mansions are smoke and mirrors, and the jewelry is probably from a gumball machine. Meanwhile, Floyd is sitting on a net worth of $1.2 billion, backed by Forbes, Sportico, and the IRS, wondering who this guy is. So, it got me wondering, why is a nearly 50-year-old man, I think Chael Sonnen is like 47, 48. Why is this nearly 50-year-old man obsessing over another nearly 50-year-old man's bank account? It's getting weird too. Like I've seen Chael on sports shows. I've seen him on podcasts, including his own, basically saying that Floyd Mayweather is lying to everybody, that Floyd Mayweather is living a lie, that Floyd Mayweather is pretending. It screams off clout chasing. It's like he's trying to siphon relevance off Floyd's name because he knows attacking a billionaire gets clicks. Or maybe, just maybe, some of these, take it however you want to, some of these white conservatives, okay, some of these white conservatives, they make it obvious, okay? And so it gets me thinking, maybe, just maybe, there's something uglier. There's something uglier under the surface. And so it feels like Chael just cannot compute that a black man that many say can't read, many talks about that he's uneducated. A lot of people say that he's dumb. And here's the thing. Let me say this. I've said this before and I'm going to say this again. There's a difference between being smart and being educated. Being educated does not equate to being smart. Being smart does not equate to being educated. You can be smart but also not be educated. You can be educated and not be smart. You can be educated and smart at the same time. But being educated does not mean being smart. And I don't understand the concern. I don't understand, like, why does it matter to you? Why does it matter to you that Floyd is supposedly pretending? Chael just cannot seem to compute that a black man outsmarted the game. That this black man from Michigan buys out of his contract. So I remember Oscar De La Hoya bought out of his contract with Bob Arum for $20 million. Floyd Mayweather, who Bob Arum didn't value as much as Oscar De La Hoya, he's like, I'll let you buy out of your contract for $750,000. Floyd buys himself out of his top ranked contract, briefly goes to Golden Boy, but then he leaves Golden Boy and starts promoting himself in Mayweather Promotions. This dude brokers these huge deals with Showtime. He brokers these huge deals with Showtime where first of all, he had a 6-fight deal with Showtime where he got a base salary of $250 million. That on top of his the amount of money he earned from the actual fights, as well as the pay-per-view revenue. So it was a certain amount of money he was guaranteed in his fights, but then there was also the pay-per-view revenue that he would earn. But by being his promoter, he also earned money from the actual event. And to me, and he surrounded himself with good businessmen. Learned the business, became a student of the game of business, and became a good, respectable businessman in his own right. And it's like, of course, and this is why I tell people, like I've said in my previous videos, it really bothers me when you see the UK giving all of this love to their fighters, and this love, like it seems like misplaced loyalty in some cases. But here we have some of the greatest fighters in the world, if not the greatest fighters in the world, and and we are so hateful towards them. So we're so hateful towards them, and we're so hypercritical of them. And some people even, like, they pick and choose what, you know they want to be all blackety blackety black, and they talk about, not putting down another black man, supporting black fighters. But then when it comes to this particular guy, they want to go after him, and they want to say all types of crazy stuff about him, calling him a buck dancer and stuff like that. But you look at people like Chael Sonnen, and it's clear that there seems to be an issue that he has of this dumb, stupid black man from the streets of Grand Rapids, Michigan, of all people, outsmarting the game of boxing, and became a legitimate billionaire business mogul. And to me, this is not a good look. It smells like jealousy. It smells like desperation. It smells like racism. And so Chael Sonnen might have been the master of the promo, but right now he's just that guy at the arcade again, shouting at the high score screen, trying to convince everyone that he's player one. Guys, leave your comments below. Share your thoughts on this. I appreciate you guys watching. Holla at you guys later. Peace.